Saturday morning. Welcome back. Hopefully everybody had a wonderful Christmas. And yeah, it's been a little while since we hung out here and done some things. So hopefully everybody also saw the Christmas video. Yes, I thought that would be a good one for everybody to see our good buddy I carry one back in the saddle, doing what he, what I mean, just I think he's really good at it. He's really entertaining guy. I know everybody misses his channel, misses his videos like myself, and very honored to get him to collaborate in a video with me. It's been a minute. He has been a very busy dude. He's got a lot on his schedule, so it's hard to kind of get him pinned down to do it. So, but anyway, yes, we did do that. We did an unboxing. Hopefully, you saw it. Again, that's what this is. And if you're interested in that kind of stuff and seeing a little bit more, I guess, in detail on what I think about it and my thoughts on all that, you're going to like this episode of this week's Collectors Radio and all that. And so I guess a little bit further, more detail and things that I guess I would elaborate a little bit more on. But that video initially was mainly to get him back out. And I thought, what a better way to, what they would just to unbox this beautiful, classic Smith and everything. And of course, he had some stuff in his inventory that we were able to bring out and just kind of, use our ambiance, if you will. All right. So anyway, here we go. Let's go ahead and read your comments in no particular order. Again, if your comment wasn't read, it could be after a production show, or for some reason it got pulled. We actually had one of Slimfire, his comments were not getting posted for a while there, or something like that. So it's kind of strange. Some people, their comments doesn't get posted or whatever. We do have a moderator for the YouTube channel, but it's who knows. So anyway, up first, Jeffrey Richardson says, "Love the stories of the island." Yes, the island life for me, that was my growing up in the the 80s and 90s. It was awesome. I really, greatly appreciate it. My grandfather was such a key figure in my life, being pretty much, just leading, just pointing the way and leading me towards, where I am today. And of course, my mother, and you just being raised up that way was so important, I think, and I wouldn't have it any other way. My grandpa was a World War II vet, lived through it all, seen it all. I tell you, so he really instilled a lot of old school stuff for me. Just values and, growing up for me, we were never, a privileged family or anything like that. We never had money. We had love, we had family, we had old school values. That was what kept us going, what, brought us together. My mom, working class stiff, all the way up till she just basically retired this year. It's crazy. But and just trying to make it by now on retirement and doing all that. It's kind of crazy when you stop and put that in perspective. And like for me, it's like, man, I can't believe that my mom retiring. Like, what? And of course, my grandpa, unfortunately, passing away over 20 years ago. Can you believe that? I can't believe that. To think that when you start thinking about stuff like that in your high schools, had 20-year reunions, and I know many of you viewers is like, yeah, we've had like many, the reunions keep going, and then the classmates are less and less and less. But time does fly. It flies fast and faster and faster as you get older. I tell you. So even looking back, a lot of the memories from the island, going out and like I've talked about it many times, that Sunday. Always looked forward to that Sunday hanging out with my friends up there, Ron, and going up and being blessed to be able to shoot on his property and make videos up there, 300 plus acres, beautiful green Hawaiian, land, just beautiful stuff. And being able to go up there and do that, and just to think that most of everybody up there from those days had passed away, that's really just crazy to think about that. All right, H Gates. Excuse me. Awesome. I too wish I had talked with my grandpap as well. Yes, I wish I would have asked I wish I was, because when you're younger, sometimes it doesn't really register all the time. You're just, you got one focus. You just like play and have fun. And but I wish I would have talked to my grandpa more about World War II, what that was like. stuff that he experienced. And then, and I've always been fascinated with American manufacturing and the way things went during World War II. As a country bond and unified, and the bond together, and like factories, like, okay, like this typewriter company, you're gonna make 1911s or whatever, and for the war efforts and all that kind of stuff, and just the cool factor of all that, just the all that, and just to think me, we got all these wonderful, a plethora of oils and stuff like that out there, and solvents and things like that. You think back at like World War II days, like what they had. It's like they basically had regular, 3-in-1 oil or something like that, axle grease, and petrol gasoline to clean things with. So it's really cool. There's an old video, I've seen it, black and white video of the women putting together 1911s, and I mean the old school way, pushing that plunger tube down with their thumb, and emptying it in their dresses and washing it in the oils and stuff like that. Just crazy, awesome stuff. So, all right. DB says, thanks for the morning chat. Happy New Year, and Happy New Year to you as well. Hopefully we have better years to come and all that. So Mike says, I appreciate your comments about your grandfather, and he sounds like a great man, and he was. My grandfather was my firearms mentor. He taught me how to clean, safely handle guns, to rabbit hunt at a family farm, and that you might get away with you might get away with poor gun handling habit for years, or not at all. So be thoughtful and remember the 4 basic safety rules. He only had 2 guns, a 22 Remington and a J.C. Higgins 12 gauge pump. I now have the 12 gauge, and my cousins have the 22, both the treasured heirlooms, and will be passed to our kids. Yes, that's really cool stuff. Yeah, especially growing up like that. That old school growing up and upbringing like that, I think is really important. It's like the salt of the earth kind of deal. Especially when you have things like that, those old firearms and things that have been passed down from the people that taught you, or the people that you looked up to. That's always wonderful. Like I said, I have I have my uncle's 38, which I treasure very much. So also here we have also been enjoying my indoor shooting range. I just have to remember to shut the toilet lid if I'm shooting a semi-automatic, and shut the bathroom window if it's cold out, or raining. Sometimes living large is a state of mind. Merry Christmas to all you viewers, and always best wishes from Montana. What I also been enjoying my indoor shooting range. I have to remember to shut the toilet. It sounds like you're shooting out of your back door or something there. Good for you, man. All right. This one here, some Slim Fire. Great memories with grandfather JW, and thank you for sharing that. It's good to give to the less fortunate if you can. Yes. During the midst of all this, I actually loaned a lady $20. She actually only asked me for 10, and I loaned her the 20 because hey, But you know what? She paid me back. Believe that, she paid me back, and on top of it, she gave me a Christmas card and a coffee mug. So I have to bring the coffee mug out to the show, and I'll show that. I'll show you the coffee mug that she gave me. That was really nice of her. She didn't have to do that, but you know what? Sometimes it's like, if I loan money out like that, in the case like that, I'm not expecting it back. But you know what? That one came back. She's a good lady. Anyway, she was, obviously less fortunate, and try to give back to those people, because you know what? It does come back to you in tenfold. Because I'll tell you something. I loaned her 20, and the same day, I've loaned her 20 on a couple of occasions, and the same day somebody tipped me twice that amount. So, there you go. There's a good example of that. Anyway, I remember your outdoor shooting videos. They were fun to watch. I didn't know you played the drums, and I've been trying to play guitar since I was 19, and I have 7 guitars in my collection, and waiting on another Gibson. Are my favorite guitars. Hope you have a nice Christmas, JW. Thanks, Slim. Appreciate that. Yeah. Yeah, definitely music is was a big part of my life, still is a big part of my life. I enjoy playing like a lot of old school bands, but I do like a lot of the other stuff. I guess I grow more to appreciate it now more than anything because obviously rolling around listening to this to old school rock stuff. Well, I guess back when I was listening to it wasn't quite old school, but all that I guess now they consider it classic rock. All right, James Bell. Good morning, JW. I definitely agree with you that Christmas has become so commercialized. I haven't looked forward to it in many years. I hope you do uh, get that relaxed time on Christmas Day. It is very important, people, to just kind of sometimes kick your feet up on Christmas Day, or anything like that, and just kind of relax. And it is important. But yeah, unfortunately, it has become very commercialized. But there that kind of rolls back to me being very grateful of having the upbringing I did, where it was about family. We spent time with each other. We had food and everything. Nobody had a cell phone in their hand. So, all right, and we got a couple replies to that. Slim Fire says it was great when you're a kid. Absolutely, that's a good point to be making. When we were kids, yes, Christmas is wonderful. Also, that being said, not to almost seem hypocritical, but I think it's also important to get to kids presents. The kids need to have that. They need to experience that. I mean, there's nothing like Christmas morning opening up that brand new bike or something like that, going outside and playing, doing things like that. The kids are special, and we need to do everything we can to make sure that their moment is as good, if not better, than what we had when we were kids. And I think it's important to do that. Kids need to experience, like I said, give back, and hopefully we can make a difference in their life to give it better or at least the same of what we had, and give it everything we can to them. Kids are definitely important in that aspect to make sure, it shouldn't hurt to be a kid, and it's important to make sure that they live a wonderful life as best as they can, that we can provide in this insanity that's been going on. All right, James says, yeah, yes, it seemed to be a little different back in the early 80s as a kid. I had a lot more fun back then than I do now. Yeah, that's true. I miss those days, like carefree in the world, and just, get on our bikes and ride down to the street in a cul-de-sac and go play in the woods and throw things at each other and mud fight and all that kind of deal. Bohemian Hunting Club, another great channel, great guys out there. Good morning, they say. Yes, and good morning to you. Crazy Scotsman says, what a great start to the show, talking about your grandfather and reliving some memories. I agree when it comes to this time of the year, and work always screwing people and time off. Big businesses, big business is big for a reason. That is true. They line their pockets while you don't. No matter the season, they all commercialize out of the wazoo. Absolutely, so much. Everything has been commercialized. I mean, just it's all about money in the end. It kind of reminds me of this. Danny DeVito in the movie Heist, alongside with Gene Hackman. Great movie, by the way, if you haven't seen it. That's a wonderful movie. That was one of Gene Hackman's last, hit towards the. He always made good movies, but I mean, as he got older, that was his last real good one. But anyway, Danny DeVito has a wonderful line in it. He's the villain in the movie, and he says, "Everybody needs money. That's why they call it money." All right. Henry 1860 is certainly not cheap. Definitely not. That is not a cheap rifle. I was very happy and blessed to get to play around with one. I have never shot one as yet, but I've seen a few over the years. What an iconic rifle. Great show, and looking forward to the Christmas special video. Yes, hopefully you guys all saw that Christmas special. Please go back and check it out, and give a like and a thumbs up for I Carry One, and a comment, letting them know we all still think about him. All right. And this one here is from Led 8541. Led, my man over there, great channel, great dude. Always awesome stuff. His barbecue videos are really awesome. Definitely, ones to check out. Merry Christmas. That's from Led. Sean says, happy holidays, Bat Jack. Been enjoying your Saturday morning shows. Keep up the good work. Well wishes to you and your family this year. I appreciate that. We'll see how this new year brings us, and hopefully I get to. I'm gonna be probably taking a little bit of time and travel out to California to go visit some my mom and everything out there. So we'll see how that goes. And everything. Have some fun out there. I think I think it'll be fun. So anyway, yeah. Well, let's see. We got, as you know, we did do it. I did do it. Okay. I splurged on myself. Plus, what really actually kind of helped me do was they had a rebate on these things. As you probably already know, I got the Smith & Wesson Model 29-10. It was like kind of my Christmas present to myself. Pulled in all the pennies, worked like a slave, and, pulled the money together and did it. Definitely was not cheap. But I got a $150 rebate in the mail from it. Cool beans, because that was cool of Smith & Wesson to be doing that. So anyway, here it is. Blue box, as you guys know, came in. There it is. Blued. I got the blued variant. Really cool. I just absolutely wanted to have one of these. And I look at the bluing on this thing. Gosh, it really is. True 6.5-inch barrel. We'll get rid of this because this is actually not really needed here. But inside here, by the way, as you saw the video, in it, you got the typical wax paper, the keys for the key lock, which everybody's not a fan of. I'm not a fan of it, but you know what? It hasn't deterred me in buying one, that little thing. But anyway, under here is the. I want to actually get this out because this is really cool. I want to get that out of there because I want to check that out. It's the screwdriver set here. There we go. All right. Get this big blue box out of the way. Pretty decent. Oops, bumped the camera, did I? I did. Almost got us all messed up there. Anyway, it's got this screwdriver kit thing. By the way, if you're familiar with the other ones, the old vintage ones, they came with this. The cleaning rod, this is kind of funny. Does it actually? Yeah, okay, it does. I thought, and maybe I was like, God, does it even fit? It looks awfully small for a 6.5-inch. With the brush, my brush is a little bent because I guess the way it was packed and everything. The screwdriver bit thing that actually fits, supposed to fit all of the screws in this. I'm going to be very careful. I'm trying to see. Okay, that's funny. It does not fit the screws. So a little information for you. The screwdriver they provide you does not fit the screws of the side plate. It kind of does on this bottom one, but I wouldn't try it because you probably dog it up easily. It fits that one a little bit better. Maybe, I don't know, it's maybe because my screwdriver is a little dogged up a little bit, but I'll tell you this much. The top screw right here, it definitely does not fit that. And it kind of fits the elevation thing. Yeah, it kind of does. Does it fit this top one? Yeah, it kind of does. I guess where it would really shine would be the grips, the actual grips. Yeah, it'll fit that, and it'll fit this, I'm sure. Yeah, it'll fit this cylinder release latch. But interesting. Maybe it's just because mine's a little bit chewed. I don't know. Maybe not. But it's kind of neat that they included something like that. That's an old school touch. And, of course, the mop. The mop, it does have. So anyway, that's kind of neat because it's a throwback of the old days because the old ones did include all this stuff. You do have it. As you guys know, I do have a vintage -2 with the wooden box and everything. Speaking of the wooden box, take this computer, set it down here for a second. Speaking of the wooden box, this surprised me. I was really surprised that it came with this. Right here, made in USA. It says so on the bottom. In fact, the box that the box comes in, how about that for a tongue twister? It actually has the company that obviously made it for Smith & Wesson. Pocumtuck Wood Specialties out of Massachusetts somewhere, where you can see it there, shipped from and to from East Hampton, Massachusetts to Springfield, Massachusetts. So they're getting them made locally right there. This is box 1 of 320. So obviously they had 320 of these things made during this run or whatever they had during this. So all in all, I'm going to tell you this. The presentation of this box and everything is phenomenal. This is way better than any of those vintage boxes that they came in. And I got one. So I'm not like just talking like I don't know anything about it. I'm telling you right now, this is a way better built box than the vintage one. The latches are a lot stronger. The internals of the box is really nice. I'm not going to put the pistol in there and try to show it to you because knowing me, it's going to come falling out and land on the floor here. All the screws and hardware look like they're done really well. Can't see exactly what that says, but it locks up nice, and the hinges are big. The older ones, the hinges are really small, and like some of them are just held in by tack nails, where this is actually screwed in. I'm telling you, this box is a whole lot better. Pads on the bottom and all that. Like I said, it says made in USA. It does appear to be, this bottom part does appear to be particle board. Let me actually see what on the internal here on the upside does it. I'm trying to see. No, it's all wood there. I don't know. Maybe the bottom is just the way that is. Looks like the insert doesn't lift out of there very easily or anything. But it does have the cutouts and everything for all the tools. I can feel it in there. Let's see. Can I actually attach this or put this stuff in there? Yeah, good. Does it live in there pretty good? It does. Let's see. What else is there? The screwdriver. But yeah, you could do it. Put it all in there. I would mess with this now, but yeah. That whole thing fits in there, and then these two items, you fit that and that right there. There you go. I don't know. Mess with that thing right now. But that is pretty cool. That surprised me. Like I said, I was not expecting it to come with that. When this whole thing arrived in this giant box, it was kind of like, wow, what's, I'm expecting just a blue box. So that's pretty cool. So if you're kind of thinking about that price point, which these things are, they're like, what are they, like 13, 14, something like that around there. The price point it is steep. They're not cheap. But I was able to get a little bit of a slight better deal on it, so that's why also I went ahead and did it, because I was able to get a little bit of a better deal on it than normally. So what is it? All in all, like, what's my impressions of it? Have shot it, did ran it, wanted it because I wanted to shoot magnums and stuff like that. Do I have the vintage Dash 2? Yeah, I mean, check out the channel. We've done a lot of videos of Dash 2s and all that. They're cool. They're old. They're vintage. They're it's just like, the dirty hairy gun of all dirty hairy guns. That's it. But there was just something about, I wanted to experience buying the brand new one off the market, factory new, if you will, and just doing that whole thing. And then also, if I wanted to shoot magnums in it, I can. It was kind of like that feeling that I have with the Python. Really like that Python. I still got it. Obviously, I'm not going to get rid of it. I like it. I want to shoot 357 magnums, I throw it in there, shoot it. Not saying that the vintage ones can't handle it or, is going to fall apart if you shoot a box of ammo, but I am kind of one of those people. I kind of baby my collectible guns. I mean, I don't white glove them. We shoot everything. White glove nothing. We shoot everything. But I don't never shot magnums in my my older Smith, my older 44 mags. My very first one I got with the -3 with the 6 inch, not a 6.5. By the way, this one is a 6.5. Shot Magnums in that first time I had it and everything. So overall, this thing is beautifully done. Surprisingly enough, I think the logo, I believe they laser etch these things. That is a lot better and cleaner and nice and bold. Does look better than the old school one that was on it. Right down to the medallions on the newer grips, even though I know Smith didn't make those. I think they're made by Alt Mount. The medallion looks better. It looks a little bit more cleaned up. I got some older ones with it. I've always kind of felt their logo was kind of cluttered up. It really's got too much going on. I mean, I know I'm biased. Who's got the best logo would be like Colt and Wilson Combat. But that's the anyway. That is their logo. It looks pretty clean in that one. The alt mount grips. I left the alt mount grips on it. Could have put the originals on it, or a pair of the old originals, or something like that. You can. In the end, I didn't want a pair of beat up looking grips on a brand new blued gun. So I left these alt mount grips on it. The more I handle on them, I said, you know what, I don't mind them. They're nice. It helps kind of signify for me this is the new gun. So it's got the new style grips. Even though they're a little thinner, I got smaller hands anyway, so it doesn't really bother me too much. Does it thump on you pretty good with a 44 mag? It does, but so does the vintage ones. Screw holes by the screw side plate's a little interesting because it's a 4 screw, not a 5, but it's a 4. You got the one up top here, the one under grips, and these two right here. So that was interesting. And what I really liked about it was, believe it or not, I love the fact that it's a frame-mounted firing pin. Some people go, oh my God, they really go bananas over that kind of thing. But if you think about this, also 1955, the Colt Python, guess what? It always had a frame-mounted firing pin. So, there is that. Even though this is, a little bit different, but I feel like, I don't know, I just feel like it's a stronger design. Some of the other things that I noted in comparison to the older one, the hammer is a little thinner. It's thinned down. And I think so is the trigger. The trigger was not as, but is it really something that's going to break the deal? By miles, not even. No close. Not even a close, comparison or anything like that. Back straps are rated. Again, I can't just tell you the bluing is still good. It's still just as good. You know what? I don't have the eyesight to tell the difference. White outline rear, ramp sight, with the reddish, mine's a little bit more on the red side than orange. So you could almost say it's a little bit of a faded red, but it's there. Really cool. Top is done up nicely, with the serrations and all that, with the frosting, over the top of that. Looks good. Looks great. The fit and finish between the frame and the crane is pretty darn good. And I tell you, this thing locks up like you wouldn't believe. When you lock this up, it's locked. It's good. It's in good, it's solid. So some of the differences on here, I did notice that there's like the part of this where the shield is here that I guess it stops the cylinder from coming forward a little bit. This on all these newer Smiths, they do kind of have a further tang over here, probably something part of the machining. I carry one told me that, he said that's probably something to do with the machining right there. They did still keep with the old school flat latch, that big, big, not a flat latch, but the oversized dish on it like that, not versus that angled one where it's got part of it cut off. I think that would have looked a little goofy, and it would have maybe slightly bothered me if they'd done that. Obviously, the key lock. Yes. Am I a fan of it? No. Is it a deal breaker for me? No. Honestly, most of the time I don't even know it's there. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just a blued gun, but you actually don't really notice it as much on a blued gun. But I'm one of those people that doesn't bother me. It never really has. I had an old 629, not an old one, but one of the new 629 3 inches. It had a key lock. If you guys remember, actually on the channel, that one video with it has gained quite a few views. I can't believe it that it did. But yeah, all the laser markings, roll markings, whatever you want to call They're all in really good shape. 44 mag is on this side. Smith & Wesson is on that side. I think the older one, it was reversed. Big deal. Who cares? Whatever it is. But no, all in all, am I happy with it? Yeah, I am. I think it's really cool. Definitely wanted it. Wanted it for, my collection and all that. I'm a 44, Model 29 fanatic, I guess you could say. So that was my Christmas present to myself. Uh, Quite a bit of money to spend on myself, but hey, it was more satisfying. You were right. I can't remember exactly who said this comment, but it was definitely more satisfying to just work and burn the extra oil to get this thing and pay the cash outright for it, rather than selling or trading off something and then kind of being like, oh, I lost that one thing, but I gained this. Now I'm glad I burned the midnight oil on my time and got it, did a little overtime and all that, and was able to get this thing. So I'm happy with that. And plus the rebate, $150 back in my pocket. Can't beat that. So really cool on their part. Again, I'm totally happy with it. I will enjoy it and shoot it and have more fun with this thing than, the vintage one. I think you'll keep the vintage one for the collector's sake and all that. Still be able to take it out and shoot it, which is awesome. Nothing like being able to drive the old stuff out of the race course, but also just having a new one on the block, the new kid on the block, basically, and, basically going out there. Now, messing around with loading 44 Magnum, I just picked up a big brand new bag of Starline brass. That has been the most fun of it for me, too. As a hand loader, that was another reason I really wanted one of these, because I wanted to experience with 44 Magnum a little bit more as I got into hand loading, because I got a taste of that with the 357 and the Python. So now I'm getting to do it with a 44 mag. So it's kind of cool. I love the fact that I got that Magnum Force thing going on. You got the Smith & Wesson Model 29 and the new Python sounding going head to head. That my own personal Magnum Force thing going on. So that's a really big plus right there, especially like I said, if you're a hand loader, it's really fun to take around with that. So that was a big drive of that part of it, was being a hand loader. That really had helped make this decision to do it, and I'm glad I did. So anyway, there it is. Thanks for tuning in to this Saturday show. Appreciate it. We'll catch you next time.